hands and his feet working together. The head is still, he's got a good descending move, but you can see that, he's not getting going forward until he like descends from peak leg lift. Whereas I think if we get a little bit more forward momentum in that initial move, we can increase his acceleration rate down. And that could help with this one piece that I see with his arm path is what I would say like early arm raise, even though I love where his hands work and how his arm action, is operating right now. But if we can increase that acceleration rate by way of a little bit more forward momentum, then that hand is going to not flip up so early. So if the hand flips up early, right, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, multiple frames before front foot strike, then that's going to influence the trunk to rotate early, right? So if the hand's up, the trunk really can't stabilize in this neutral posture that we want until front foot strike. Okay. So I would just encourage, like, we don't have to do really much of anything in terms of redefining the arm action in and of itself. I think we can just incorporate a little bit more acceleration, a little bit quicker tempo, and that's going to influence, if we get him at landing, like at full front foot strike, if we get him at full front foot strike in this posture, he's going to increase miles per hour extremely quick. That's why, like, the first thing that jumped out to me was the long toss at 270. He's 30 feet away from having 90 out of the hand. And when you look at guys' long toss, you obviously see like an added acceleration rate. And when you have an added acceleration rate, you have better separation due to the timing of when that hand comes up. And he does such a good job already at his age of the lower half and being, on time with when he rotates his hips. So I think if we can just, again, get him a little bit quicker in his tempo, get him a little bit more forward momentum. Again, we don't have to, sit there and overhaul anything in his delivery, just kind of incorporate some of the drill progressions and whatnot you're going to see in the report. And I think just, it's going to naturally happen. So you see here, the lead leg block is a little bit affected. In the back view, you can really see that lead knee bows out, like I mentioned earlier. And we want that, basically to have him clear the hips, land, and then block all that forward acceleration. And also what I see here, and this kind of all comes back to that instability issue as well, with the trail leg kind of shooting into hip flexion as well as the lead leg not effectively or not effectively, but optimally blocking, which is super common. All right. I'll preface again by saying, like, at 14, he's ahead of the curve. He's already moving extremely well, and I'm really excited for him to just kind of start doing some things each and every day that are going to feed into even more efficient patterns. So I have him comped with Garrett Crochet, very similar in terms of the arm action, the body, the frame, the lower half, and I think it's a really good comparison. I just want to show you. So one thing that kind of leads into multiple things. So we talked about that forward movement, right, in the initial move. So watch how his body starts to kind of shift as his leg lifts, okay? But he doesn't really like get stuck like over the rubber per se, like he's abiding by gravity, and he's increasing his acceleration by just allowing the slope to do what the slope is meant to do, right? To give us a little bit more acceleration. So you can see that his body's shifting forward before peak leg lift. And now as he's going to descend, he's going to stick, stabilize, boom, and now we're constantly going down and abiding by that slope, right? So our body is kind of fitting the angle of which the slope is. So our hips kind of match that angle. And like I said earlier with the arm action, very simple. But since Garrett has such a higher amount of acceleration from that forward movement, you can see his hand flips up right when that front leg is just getting into touchdown. So then what you have is created all this like separation, all this rotational energy by way of just optimal sequencing on the slope. And I think literally with all the research that I do every day, this is like the biggest separator that I see with guys that throw extremely high power output and guys that don't, is their ability to sequence this movement here of the hips into rotation. The hand flips up, the trunk stays neutral, the front foot anchors down, takes on force, and now we're in this position to leverage our arm and then release that rotational energy. It's like releasing that tension on a rubber band if you were to pull it all the way back, okay? All right, dudes, Robby Rowe here. Thank you for watching that video. If you're interested in booking your own mechanical analysis, you can click that link right there. Also tell you a little bit about the service and what it entails. Hit that link right there, subscribe, please. You can also check out that video right there, which is related to the video that you just watched if you want to get some more context on that. All right, guys, much love. God bless. Till next time. See ya.
Strike 3! You're out!